Greetings, traveler. Mr. P here with part 2 of my tutorial on how to make your own Dungeons & Dragons characters. Last time we talked about the first choices, race, class, background. Today, we're going through the stats, ability scores, saving throws, and skills. This might be the trickiest part of making a character. So grab your sword, ready your shield, and let's enter the Dungeon of Numbers. Now, there are a ton of open boxes on this page. It's a little daunting. So let's start small. First box is the proficiency bonus. This is always going to be a +2. It will get bigger as you level up, but let's just mark +2 right now. Next are the ability scores. You get 6 of them. Strength is punching. It's also breaking down a door or grabbing someone, teetering off the edge of a cliff and hauling them up. Dexterity is running fast, ducking under a swinging blade trap, or aiming a crossbow. Constitution is health, or staring down a Medusa and not being turned to stone. Intelligence is common sense. Wisdom is book learning. Here's a handy tip to keep them separate. Wisdom is the knowledge to clone dinosaurs. Intelligence is knowing that's not a good idea. Charisma is talking to people, lying to them, or convincing them to do what you want. Now, what numbers go in those boxes? Some D&D players will roll 6 six-sided dice 7 times, drop the lowest score, and use those. But for our forest gnome rogue, little gentleman, we're going to go with the standard set. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Here's how it works. You plug the number into the skill you want, and it corresponds to what's called an ability score modifier. This is the number you actually add to the dice rolls. So, for little gentlemen, we want high dexterity. Rogues need dexterity. He's got to be able to outrun city guards after he's stolen a rare bird from the marketplace. I'm going to put the 15 there, and that will give me an ability score modifier of +2. Not too shabby. Whenever he rolls dexterity, he gets a +2. But I want that beautiful bird. Let's throw down these other numbers. I'll pop a 14 into charisma for a +2 and a 13 into intelligence to give him a +1. Remember, he's a fast-talking little smart guy. For the 12, I'll go with constitution. That'll give him a +1 to health. Not the best, but it's okay. Now it gets bad. The 10, which gives you a +0, will go into strength. That's okay. He's a tiny gnome. He won't be swinging around a huge broadsword. Finally, there's an 8, which is a -1. Yikes. I'll put that into wisdom. This is called the dump stat, the one you don't really use, so it's okay if the number is low. Look, little gentleman has never even read a book. He's got street smarts. He'll be fine. But wait, there's one more thing to consider. The bonuses he gets from his species. All species in D&D get these, so it's important to add them in. All gnomes get a +2 for intelligence. That turns my 13 into a 15, which turns a +1 into a +2. Nice. Next, forest gnomes get a +1 to dexterity, bumping the 15 to a 16 and giving him a handy +3. Very cool. He will be an expert archer. Okay, on to saving throws. This is what you roll when you want to avoid something bad. Dodging dragon breath, drinking poison, not having a witch control your brain. Now, the saving throw is the same as the ability score modifier. My strength is a +0, so my saving throw is a +0. Not so good. But as a rogue, I get proficiency in dexterity and constitution. So I just bubble in a little bubble, and that tells me to add my proficiency bonus, a +2, to those numbers. So for dexterity, the dexterity saving throw, a +3, combines with a +2 to become a +5. I will be the fastest gnome alive. Finally, there are the skills. These are what you roll for more specific challenges, like picking an ogre's pocket, convincing a dragon not to eat you, doing a perfect backflip off the main mast of a sinking ship, right out of the reach of a plesiosaur's jaws. Skills work the same as saving throws. Just mark down the ability modifier for what stats apply. Animal handling uses wisdom. Little Gentleman's wisdom is a -1. So he gets a -1 to animal handling. If he's trying to soothe a hungry owlbear, he is going to be devoured. But you also get proficiency for a few skills. Each class is a bunch to choose from, and you get more from your background. For Little Gentleman, I went with acrobatics, deception, insight, and persuasion. And because I'm an urchin, I get sleight of hand and stealth. I just bubble in the dot, add that +2. So, for instance, for acrobatics, +3 adds with a +2 to become a +5. I'm a nimble, jumping gnome. Further on the right, you got some more boxes. Initiative in the center here decides which order you go in battle. It's the same as your dexterity. For me, a +3. Speed depends on your species. Gnomes are a 25 because, well, they're small. That brings us to hit points, how much health you have. If this goes to 0, you're unconscious, and you got to roll those death saves to avoid dying. The world of D&D is hazardous, but hey, you've got your friends to help you. You'll be okay. Each class uses a different hit dice. Rogues get a D8. For the first level, I say just start with a max. Some dungeon masters want to roll or take an average as you level up, but I'm fine with maximum health. I'll mark down 1d8 in the hit dice section, and you also want to add your constitution modifier to your current hit points. My constitution modifier is a +1. D8 has 8 hit points in it. 8 plus 1 is 9, so that brings me to 9 for my current hit points. Okay, so now our character sheet is looking a little less empty. Next time, we're going to do features, traits, and equipment, and then Little Gentleman will be ready to play. Check in soon for part 3. In the meantime, you can examine those useful links below. D&D Beyond does a great job of helping you build these characters. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button, ding that subscriber bell, and shoot me an email if you have any questions. Until then, farewell, traveler.